Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
I went up to him with, like a man, with manners, and I gave him my hand. He didn't shake my hand. He told me he doesn't allow riff-raff to solicit around his club. I was like, do you own the sidewalk?
In my courtroom, it's about equity and fairness. You want him to pay $628?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, knock my socks off. Justice should be more than just some foreign concept. I actually want you to learn something. The law talks about something may in fact be true, but can they prove it? And that's what's tough.
Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Ryan Nelson claims poorly prepared food from a street vendor caused one of his VIP guests to get sick all over his club. Mr. Nelson is suing Roberto Morales in the amount of $3,800. Mr. Morales claims the patron was inebriated and that's what caused her to get sick, not his food.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
All parties have been sworn, Your Honor.
Third, get over to Thomas. Mr. Nelson, you have this club. Apparently, it's all the rage. You're doing pretty well with it.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
You are. And yet, there's this issue of Mr. Morales selling food outside the club.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's talk about that, sir.
Well, my club that I take very much, pride, my atmosphere for my patrons. If you walk into my club, okay, the ceilings alone, I have mirrors. It's upscale. It's an upscale club, and I took utmost pride in designing it.
And you don't feel as though Mr. Morales is respecting all the work and time and talent you've put into making it this upscale place with mirrors on the ceiling?
Your Honor, if I may, before I purchased the lot, I had talked to the previous owner.
Yes.
And we had discussed Mr. Morales and his hot dog cart out front. And for lack of a better words, it's an eyesore. Okay. I have an upscale club. I did approach Mr. Morales, and I had asked him very kindly to relocate because it's an absolute eyesore.
And when you say relocate, he's on a public street, right?
He's actually right in front of my club.
All right. Is it on a public street?
I own the front. Okay.
You own the sidewalk too?
I do not, Your Honor.
Okay. So he's on a public portion of the sidewalk that's directly in front of your club. Yes? Okay. Mr. Morales, did he have a conversation with you nicely saying, I don't want you right in front of the club?
No, Your Honor, it's total opposite. I went up to him when I knew that there was a new owner, and I went up to him with, like a man, with manners, and I gave him my hand. He didn't shake my hand. He told me he doesn't allow riff-raff to solicit around his club. I was like, do you own the sidewalk? I made a mistake.
Your Honor,
I walked away.
Wait, why do you say you made a mistake?
No, I made a mistake because I did sink down.
Give it as much as you
Sank down to his level and I talked back to him, but you know what? After that, I diffused the situation and I did move 15 feet away from the club.
15 feet away from the club?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is that true? Did he move 15 feet away?
Your Honor, I did have a
Is that
conversation
true?
with
Did he
him.
move 15 feet away?
If it was 15 feet, maybe, maybe not.
Okay.
I mean, it was still...
So he moved from wherever he was initially, he moved some distance away from that.
A minimal distance.
He was still in close proximity to your club.
Most certainly, Your Honor.
All right. You didn't like it?
No.
Did you make any complaints with any officials in terms of food and ordinance?
Well, when I had walked up, there was various different times and encounters that we did have. And the one that really stuck out was, number one, is when I did walk over to his cart, he had dirt underneath his fingernails. I'm surprised.
That's a lie.
I'm surprised he even showered today.
I wear gloves.
I mean, he had a full face. I mean, facial hair. He was. I wouldn't buy food from him. It was an absolute disgrace.
Can I grow facial hair, Your Honor?
Hold on a moment.
The cleanliness, Your Honor.
Okay, wait a minute. First of all, you don't ask the questions up in here.
I don't want to answer that one.
And second of all, refer to the first one, okay? Here's the issue. He's on a public sidewalk. If you have concerns about the health and safety of the patrons, that's for you to file a complaint with the city or whoever else to say he's selling items. If they're not clean, he's not practicing protocol, he doesn't have a permit. The issue here is you're suing him based on an incident that happened inside your club.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's talk about the incident.
Well, I was having a VIP party for Miss Telly. So, I bought some import velour. I have custom designed cushioned seats. that I actually have a picture right here.
Let's take
I
a
mean,
look.
I,
Yes.
I did the whole thing up for Miss Tully and
I don't have any doubt.
It was her
that you go-
birthday party.
You're first class all the way. I'm sorry, and who was the person at the VIP?
Miss Tully.
Okay, is that the woman here?
Yes, Your
Miss
Honor.
Tully, step forward. This was your party. Yes?
Yes, sir.
And was it for any particular reason, or were we just partying for the sake of a party?
Yes, was for celebrate some success. Then I just
I'm sorry, what did you say?
success.
For success?
Yes.
Oh, I thought I heard something completely different.
That's what I thought.
Coming up on America's Court.
You're saying because she threw up in your club, he should pay you.
Correct.
And later,
What were they doing in the room?
There was a porn video done.
There was a pornography video shot in the house.
closed captioning provided by. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Ryan Nelson, who is suing Roberto Morales for property damage.
You are planning this party, you're planning on being there, and you've invited people.
He invited me, okay, because it was my birthday weekend.
It was your birthday weekend?
Yes.
Okay.
And I take a flight from Miami come here because
You took a flight from Miami to come here?
Yes,
All
because
right.
I already signed a contract for remodel here. So I say, okay, everybody stay talking about this super club, and I really want to stay there. So he invited me. He said, it's going to be a night, and you're going to remember. I sort of was it, because I just stayed there. I take my flight,
You took your flight.
but I don't
I'm
eat
following
nothing.
you.
I don't eat nothing that day. That's the problem.
You
No.
didn't eat at all?
No,
Okay.
nothing. So what happened is then I stay in front of the club, and I smelling the hot dog that this guy, okay? But I say, I never take any food on the street. So I say, okay, I can wait for finish the party, and I'm going to eat something better.
Because
And
they're
it's
not
like-
serving, you don't serve food at your establishment.
In the process of serving food, Your
That's a
Honor.
no, right?
That is a no.
So I just take 2 drinks. Normally I take like 6.
If I,
But,
I definitely understood that.
but
You're telling me that normally you would drink more. On this occasion, you had 2 drinks, but you hadn't eaten, so
Yeah.
that probably went to your head a little
yeah.
bit. Okay, I got
So
it.
that's what happened is that I really take it too, but after like 1 hour I feel sick. I say, okay, I don't feel good.
Now, I'm going to cut you off for a moment. Were you operating the cart when she came over?
I was operating the cart, and she, as a matter of fact, was so rude. She came to the front of the line. She threw the $20 at me. She asked for a hot dog with no bacon and a hot dog with bacon. And she ate her hot dog in peace, but the way she came to
Well,
me
why
is
did
like,
you serve her then? Why didn't you make her wait?
oh, well, you know what? $20 is a lot for me, sir.
She was rude and she cut the line, but it's $20, okay. All right?
Your Honor, may I say something,
No.
please?
And then what we have is a situation, because now I'm dealing with the 2 of you. Other than you serving her the hot dog, you didn't have any other interaction with her.
No.
Did you eat the hot dog outside, or did you come back in?
outside.
Outside. And then you finished eating the hot dog. There were 2. Did you eat both of them, or was one for your friend?
2.
Oh, you were really hungry, huh?
I don't eat nothing. It's late.
Yeah, well, okay. And then you get sick. Is that what happened?
Yes, but I throw off all the VIP items, so that's why
I didn't understand that. Say it again.
I vomit.
You vomited?
Yeah, so all
Inside the club?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I come in here for no juice because I am the only one. It's no. There are too much people. They say the same. They all time eat the hot dog that this guy. I come inside the club or go home, and it's the same, feeling sick or vomit. So
Oh,
something
you're saying
happened.
other people also were showing that they were sick?
Yeah.
All right.
He
What were
has
you going to say,
emails.
Mr. Nelson? Because you're saying because she threw up in your club, he should pay you.
Correct. I have evidence right there that, I have several employees for several months have called in sick the next day. They've emailed me. They're saying that they've eaten from Mr. Morales' cart. Like I said before, just looking at I'm shocked. Absolutely shocked how he looks today.
Hearsay. He
Very
signs
shocked.
those checks.
Stop.
If you give me 1 second, let me finish.
Stop. Someone says that they got sick. This is an email. Okay, let's assume that's true. You've offered me a Yelp Loved the bar, not the food outside. Had a wonderful time, but got sick from the food truck.
Your Honor, that's
No
been-
bueno on the hot dog outside. All right. The hot dog cart, the food is sketchy.
That's been an ongoing thing,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
These are people that are voluntarily, no one's twisting their arm, they're going outside as opposed to driving somewhere else, and there's a line. Is there usually a line for these hot dogs?
I haven't seen one.
Okay, if he's out there all the time, you would have known if there are lines, because you're showing me all these people are eating the hot dogs, right? So he's obviously making money. What I'm trying to understand is, how do you connect Ms. Tully to him being responsible when she's the one that threw up in your club?
Well, the unsanitary of his cart alone, his appearance, his hot dogs, as you can see right there, it's a disgrace. How he presents it, how anyone would buy something from that cart, I'm speechless.
Okay,
Okay?
well,
And
turn slightly, turn your body, other way, a little bit more. Why don't you ask her? Because she's the one that bought from the cart. You said, I don't see how anyone would do it. Well, she was like,
so you
I
don't
want
think
one.
he's responsible for food
You
poisoning?
don't have to ask the questions up in here either.
I apologize, Your
Based
Honor.
on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel comes down in favor of the defendant. There's something called causation. You're having to prove that he's negligent as it pertains to your injury. He had nothing to do with her decision to buy a hot dog. So if anything, if there's somebody that should be sued, it's the person that you brought as your witness, because she's the one that caused the damage to your establishment.
So the
your
point-
matter is dismissed. That is the order. Case closed.
Thank you.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
I'm very happy with the ruling. Mr. Nelson is the real criminal here. I'm just trying to make an honest living.
The fact that he's able to sell that filth and food poison my patrons is beyond me. But I'm not going to stop until his cart's gone.
And coming up on America's Court with Judge Ross.
What were they doing in the room?
There was a porn video done.
There was a pornography video shot in the house.
Closed captioning provided by Court with Judge Ross. Jeff Gloff and Jack Lovell claim they were evicted from their dorm and say their roommate is to blame. The co-plaintiffs are suing Thoris Gray in the amount of $3,200. Mr. Gray claims he was not the direct cause of the eviction and doesn't think he should be responsible for their lost deposits.
You had a relationship with Mr. Gray,
Yes, Your Honor.
and tell me your story.
Well, the three of us rented a house together.
Right.
Mr. Gray got us evicted, and so we're suing for our portion of the deposit back.
The residence that you all were able to occupy, who found that?
I did.
You found it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was
Well,
under
it
the
was
impression-
Thor and Jeff.
Yeah,
Jeff
well,
also went to go
It
look
was
at the
both of
house.
us for the first one, and then, of course, I had a family member.
And
as
they
well.
notified me after they found a location and a house to move into that was basically the same price as having a dorm. It was almost more affordable than having a dorm room. So we got a house.
And what
started
was the
club.
idea? Because from what I remember, the house was pretty large, right?
It was extremely
As a large house, our idea was to have an organization that was an alternative to Greek life.
Okay. And the person who owned the property, they knew that you all were looking at having a group of young men come in and live there.
Yes, Your Honor.
That was clear to them.
Yes.
Because many people don't like renting to young college men.
Yeah, it was certain things that he was the alumni of the university.
Okay.
So it was Mr. Marshall. He actually, he did require certain guidelines that we have to follow.
Let's talk about those guidelines. What were they?
Being an extension of this school and a place where students are going to come and study and or do school activities through our house.
Right.
Because being a club, we can do things like that. So we had to sign an agreement basically saying we're not going to party, have loud music, have drinking, or do anything sort of besides.
You're going to
that's
have a
not
certain
scholastic.
amount of integrity and professionalism.
Integrity, exactly. We had to maintain the integrity of the campus.
Coming up on America's Court.
What were they doing in the room?
There was a porn video done.
There was a pornography video shot in the house.
Closed captioning provided by This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Jeff Gloff and Jack Lovell, who are suing Thoris Gray for $3,200.
The morality clause was violated.
Morality clause is violated.
Who wants to tell me about that?
Well, basically, the morality contract was broken because Thor over here was basically, we had 2 extra rooms. We have 2 rooms open, and Thor said he was going to be in charge of finding roommates and people, students to come in and out. He actually never found any. I think there was one person was a student that actually even came through there. Everyone else seems random. I didn't even know what Airbnb was. I thought he knew these people from class.
Yeah, I mean,
he didn't know them.
He was renting an illegal Airbnb out of his room when he went to study abroad.
What made you decide it was okay to do that?
I never heard or saw a clause that was about not being able to sub-rent my room out to cover my monthly expenses. And also, I spoke to them about it.
You didn't just sublet the room to some other student, did you?
Well, the first person that came...
The answer is no.
Not entirely, no.
Right. And what were they doing in the room?
There was a porn video done.
There was a pornography video shot in the house.
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. You're watching America's Court with Judge Ross. This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
You guys are pretty free and willy-nilly with just letting folks come in and out, and your names are on this lease.
Here's the thing, Your Honor. I actually spoke to them. Anybody that actually came to the house, we had a discussion. I make sure I received their consent prior to their arrival.
Did you all consent to the gentleman that was 28?
We put our trust in Thor.
All right.
I'll admit that. We trusted him.
Because
he broke our
ultimately,
trust.
each of you had to put a security deposit in, and that's the $1,600, right?
Yes.
Yes,
When
Your
the
Honor.
owner found out, he said, you all are out of here?
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
you just said, okay, we'll leave?
Well, we couldn't go. We didn't want to bring our parents into an eviction hearing.
What was the reason he gave you for not returning the security deposit?
Because we basically destroyed the integrity of the property, which is part of the morality agreement.
Got it.
And which the last line
And
of the
you're
morality
saying,
agreement
if I don't
says.
get my $1,600 back, and you're saying, if I don't get my $1,600 back, we'll get it from Mr. Gray, right?
Your Honor.
Is that what's going on?
That's pretty much what's going on.
I got it.
But
I
in
got
the
it.
email, he didn't...
I got it.
Okay.
Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel will come down in favor of the defendant. Your issue is not with this gentleman. Your issue is with the landlord. Because by law, within a certain amount of days, he has to either return your security deposit or he has to delineate all the reasons why and the cost associated with that. If he said, I'm kicking you out because of this X-rated video, that in and of itself would not fall under the parameters of what typically a security deposit is for. So you are entitled to your money. You have the wrong defendant. Your matter's dismissed. Case closed.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The co-plaintiff's claim is denied.
I'm glad we came to court today. And if we go after the landlord, maybe I'll get my money back too.
It was his fault we got evicted, and I still think we deserve our deposit back.
And now we will be going after the landlord.
Follow America's Court on Facebook and Twitter. This has been a production.